Hey everybody, it's Miller from MiddleDimes.com. We got an article from Trevor Hillman talking about the San Francisco Dons. That's the University of San Francisco. They got this guy named Khalil Shabazz. Now, they made it to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 24 seasons last year. They're losing their leading scorer. But Khalil Shabazz and Trevor, we're going to show you why it's not going to be that big of a deal. While their heartbreaking overtime loss to 7th-seeded Murray State sent them packing early, doesn't justify the impressive 24-10 season the Dons put together. 7 of their 10 losses were within 5 points. And because of their gritty defense, many had San Francisco on an upset watch against Murray State. Their presence at the tournament was no joke, earning their at-large bid after wins against Davidson, UAB, Arizona State in non-conference play. So what we learned from last year is that the Dons, a quiet mid-major, are for real. Following the tournament, 2 big headlines emerged. Head coach Todd Golden's transition to Florida and Jamari Bowie, the Dons' leading scorer, leaving the program after his final year of eligibility. It's easy to see those 2 stories and assume that San Francisco will just head into another tournament drought. That is the fate of many mid-majors who graduate their stars or lose their coaches. But I'd be careful assuming they're out. Why? Because right behind their star that's leaving is an underrated, underappreciated guy. And his name you'll want to remember and stamp it because he's going to be a breakout candidate for the 2022-2023 season. And that's soon-to-be San Francisco star Khalil Shabazz. In 3 seasons with the Dons, Shabazz hid quietly behind San Francisco's gray fog and posted at least 10 points a game, 13.7 this past season, which was the 2nd highest score on the team, and scored over 1,000 points in his 3 years so far. And while he's certainly an offensive threat, numbers don't factor into the defensive energy that he brings. He averaged more steals per game than turnovers each year. He's relentless around the perimeter defensively. His decision to stay for his final year of eligibility vaults the Dons back into the NCAA tournament conversation, and it's expected that he will lead the team back to the dance. His story is quite unique. He steps in this season as a primary scorer and backcourt defender for a Division I tournament 10 seed, but he began his career on the bench in the GNAC with Central Washington Wildcats. That's a D2 school. Prior to college, Shabazz had a stellar high school career at a well-known Rainier Beach in Washington State's area. This is the country's top basketball school. All right, producing multiple NBA products like Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson, DeJounte Murray, and winning 2 state titles at that. He averaged 15 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. He also had the 2nd highest scoring game in the school's history with 47. But despite all that success, he was just a 2-star recruit, and he had very few D1 offers. Even though bigger schools didn't recognize his talent, Shabazz was determined to prove that he deserved a chance at a D1 level. Despite the option to walk on at schools like UW or Oregon, he joined the Wildcats and started his career as a reserve for only a single game. After trailing CSU San Bernardo early in the 2nd game of the season, head coach Greg Sparling sent in the backups, and Shabazz took over. He had 28 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. He started every game after that. He racked up awards that season, averaging 15.1 points, leading the conference with 60 steals, shooting 44% from the field goal, and a 41.8% from 3. On his way to earning GNAC honorable mention and Freshman of the Year honors. It was all a product of hard work and drive that Shabazz developed despite going unnoticed by bigger schools. After his time with CWU, he put the D1 world on notice and was eventually recruited by San Francisco in 2019. When many people would give up, Shabazz had foresight to keep working, and he chose to redshirt his first year to learn and study the game, a decision he attributes to a massive improvement of his basketball IQ. And finally, after years of effort and time to prove his value, he was given the opportunity to play and began his D1 career in 2020 with 31 points against the University of Massachusetts Lowell. All of a sudden, the kid who was overlooked became a figurehead for his new D1 program and solidified his game, proving it was no fluke when he posted 14 and a 61-60 win against number 4 ranked Virginia on the road just 2 games later. The rest is history. This last season, Shabazz finished his final games prior to the NCAA tournament with 97 points, including 22 against the number 1 team in the country, Gonzaga. He led WCC in steals and earned 2nd team in the WCC all tournament honors. And if it wasn't clear that he worked hard already, he was also added to the D1 AAA ADA Scholar Athlete team. So despite a difficult loss in round 1 of the dance, Shabazz has shown the basketball world that he's just like his team, gritty, tough, underrated, and legit. So, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can check out watching the Dons this season. All right, our podcasts are going to be coming up soon on the playlist, and check out our last video from last week if you hadn't seen it already, and we'll catch you in the next one.